Good. And I'm live. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. As usual, my name is Alexis, and I'm here on behalf of Pop Shop America. We go live every Thursday, and we do a craft along for the craft and style boxes. So, welcome for those of us who are watching right now. For those of us who are going to watch the playback, hi. Happy to see you guys again. So this Thursday, we are going to be doing a vision board kit. So to show you guys, this is what we're working with. And if you don't know what a vision board is, these are some examples I have. So vision boards pretty much, they are a representation of the goals and any sort of dreams that you may have that you want to materialize or that you're setting forward for yourself. And they're a good way to just put them, on a board and just have them on display, something for you to look at and just have accountability for yourself. So they're great in that sense. And that's what we're going to be making today. So I'm going to go ahead and do a unboxing, and I'm going to go over everything that we have in today's kit. So this kit is available on the website. It's going to be labeled Vision Board Making Kit. And when you open it, you're going to have all of the materials that you need on the inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go over those with you guys. So of course you're going to have your pamphlet that's going to have all the information that you need to follow along with. It's going to have details, any additional supplies you may need to grab, like scissors, tape, things like that sort. So it's going to have all that inside your pamphlet. You are also going to have a paint marker, metallic one. Your color may be different than the one I have. I have gold. You're going to have some yarn, string. Again, you may have different colors. You'll have some accessories to work with, such as maybe like different leaves or flowers, some smaller ones as well too. You're also going to have a little package of the pattern tape. So that's some little spools right there to work with. So you'll have that. You'll have some decals, different floral decals. You may have different, maybe like plants or something like that, depending on the kit that you get. You will have a little envelope here, and this envelope is empty, but these are great for if you have maybe letters or notes or little drawings or something that you were gifted or that you made yourself that you want to put in here and put on your vision board. This is great for that. And then we also have some stickers as well. So these stickers are going to include, we'll go ahead and open that up and see what I got in mine. In mine, I got some colored decal ones. I also got, oh, these are really cute. I love these. Let me just dump that all out. I got some little forest ones. So like some mushrooms, some flowers. I got some dried flower stickers. And then, of course, the Pop Shop America logo right there. So that's what's inside my bag. You may have different stickers. I have some leaves too. Every kit is a little different when it comes to more customizable ones like this. So yours may not have the exact same products, as in, like the same stickers as mine does or the same color yarn, but you'll have everything that I showed in this pack in yours when you order. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the actual vision board itself, which has some cutouts that you can work with also. And if you see me reaching forward, guys, I'm making sure my camera doesn't turn off. But this has different templates to work from. And the cool thing about these is you can use the ones that are included into the kit, or you can use new ones. So like you can, for example, go through magazines or photos that you have, and you can use your own personal ones, but there is a selection to choose from in the kit that we have here with us today. So I'll show you what we do with that as well. And then you have the vision board, of course, which is just this piece of like balsa wood that we're going to build on top of today. So for those of us just joining, I'll show you again what we're making. We're making vision boards today, and this is the kit. I just did an unboxing, so everything that's included on these is included in the kit, so you can make yours with using all of the materials, or you can use your own materials. You can do a combination of them. So the possibilities are really limitless for what you can do. And I encourage you to be as creative as possible when it comes to these. These are a very personal item. So I would just say, there's no wrong way to make these. There's no particular way to make these. Really, just these are a representation of the goals you have in mind for yourself. So they're about as personal as you can get, and you can't really get wrong when you're, making something for yourself about yourself. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start with my board, and I'm gonna take all my supplies out the box so that way I'm not constantly opening that and going back and forth with it. Okay, so we'll put this out of the way for now. And what I'll do first is, when I'm first starting a project, I really like to kind of lay things out and get an idea of the sort of approach I'm going to take for it. So for example, something like this, what I would recommend is, if you're going to use the templates that are provided with you, I would probably suggest looking through them, maybe picking a theme that resonates with you the most. And you don't have to use every single picture that's on this paper. You can, use one of these and then cut out something else from a different paper. It doesn't have to be precise, by the books. Again, this is something that's very representational of you as a person. So if there's certain tidbits that you want to like cut apart and just like collage them together, I would definitely recommend that. That would be, probably the best approach when doing something like this. So I have on hand some scissors, some tape, because those are not included into the kit. So I would recommend using that. I'm also going to grab a glue stick too, just so that way I can have a quicker method of attaching the papers to the wood. You can use like an Elmer's like wet glue, or you can use like a spray adhesive. You can also use some, maybe like this little colorful tape that was included in the kit, or if you have any on hand too. So there's a couple different options you can do. You don't have to glue it. I'm going to glue some, and I'm going to use tape for some. So that's what we're going to do here. So for this theme, I want to do something that kind of inspires me. And personally, I'm really inspired by water and nature, things to do with flowers, things that kind of bring like a sense of peace and calm. So I'm going to start with, let's see, we'll start with this landscape right here, this kind of pink toned landscape. And I want to keep my colors on that same sort of pattern. Now, you can totally mix it up. You don't have to do, a certain color scheme. When I find myself most inspired, though, is when things tend to have a little coordination with them color-wise. So that's the approach that I'm going to take with this. Whatever method you find more inspiring for yourself, I recommend and I encourage you to take that approach with it, because again, this is something that's going to be very personal for you. It's going to be a representation of what inspires you and what really gets you motivated. So, don't go off something that someone else likes. Go off something that you personally like, which is just a good, method to take to approach life in general. Do things that make you happy, do things that inspire you. So I'm going to start with this one right here. And I'm not going to glue anything down just yet, because I want to play around with the patterns first. I want to get an idea of what, looks good where, and be able to move things around. So I'm not going to just glue anything down just yet. Right now I'm just cutting things out and kind of getting a feel of the certain, pictures I want on there. And because I'm doing this one by the kit, I'm going to be using the materials provided to me in the kit. However, if you're doing this at home and you're following along, or you purchased a kit and you want to make your own, I would definitely encourage and recommend, adding some of your own personal pictures, maybe some, letters you have, stickers you have, anything that you have that you look at, and anytime you look at it, you're like, wow, this is like really motivating, or this is inspiring. I would definitely recommend, adding stuff like that to it, because again, the whole purpose of a vision board is when you look at it, you feel inspired and you feel motivated to stick to the goals and the purpose behind it when you made it. So that's really what the message is about this crafting box tonight, is the intent and the purpose of what you are putting out and what you're manifesting for yourself. So definitely you want to keep it personal. Yes, of course. So the board that I'm using is going to be, it comes included in the kit. So when you order the kit, it does have a board included already. And this is a very lightweight board. It feels like a balsa wood, honestly. I don't know if you've been to like a craft store, you go to the section where it's like sculpting and woodworking. They usually have like some balsa wood and it comes like in long panels. So this is what I'm working with today. It's super lightweight, very, very lightweight. You can paint it, you can wood burn it, you can stain it, you can glue on top of it. So there's a ton of different techniques and ways you can customize that. That's what I'm using today. That's what's included in the kit. That's what makes it so lightweight whenever it's shipped to you. It also makes it pretty easy to hang because you can definitely take something like this, and I think this is a standard size. This looks like an 11 by 14, but you can get it cut down to a standard size, or you can put it into a frame if you want to hang it on the wall, and you know, it just makes it a lot more simple. So that's what I'm using for today in the kit. And everything that I'm working with today is included in the box with the exception of scissors, glue, scotch tape. It does come with this colorful tape though. So if you don't have any tape at all, you do have some included in the box. So you don't have to worry about, you know, going out and getting anything like that. So again, I'm just kind of cutting out the pictures that I find inspiring. And like I mentioned earlier too, personally, I find a lot of inspiration in nature. I find inspiration in flowers and water and, you know, landscapes, things of that sort. So I really want you guys to draw in the things that make you feel inspired. And absolutely. And you can, you know, pull from, are you inspired by hiking in mountains, or are you inspired by being outdoors? Whatever it is that really just kind of draws you in, and focus on that. The cool thing about these vision boards is there are so many different elements of inspiration that you can draw from when you're making them. So what I like to do is I like to find a little bit of inspiration in everything. So you can find inspiration outdoors, you can find inspiration people watching, you can find inspiration doing art, watching, you know, a certain program on TV, you can find inspiration working out. There are so many endless possibilities of where you can find yourself feeling inspired. And I really want you guys to tap into that feeling and just kind of put that on your board as you work with it. So I cut out a few different pictures here, ones that I thought looked really pretty next to each other color-wise. And I'm going to just kind of start playing around with them and seeing. And one thing too is you can, you know, play around with these in the sense of maybe cutting some of them in half and using only portions of them, kind of piece working them together. And I'll show you guys what that looks like right here. So I'm taking one of the landscapes and actually combining that with another image right there. So you can do that to really just add that extra layer of customization to your boards. And when I find something that I like that works, I'm gonna go ahead, take some of that glue, put that on the back of it, and then just put that on the other piece of paper. Again, I'm not gluing anything to my board just yet because I'm still cutting pieces away, playing around with how it looks, and I don't wanna add something that I find difficult to take away later, because it's always easy to add something, harder to take it away. And you can do this kind of, you know, piecework look for any of the photos that are in there. So another cool thing that's included in the kit is you're gonna have this string right here, this yarn. Different colors will be added to it. I got a golden sort of color. The ones that I have here have like a pink tone to them. And what's done is they're wrapped around, oh, there's some gold in here too. And these are wrapped around and kind of like sprawled over the photos in different ways. When you hang it up, it's going to trail downwards and look really pretty. So you can use these in this way. You can wrap them horizontally around your boards. You can add them as a border. There's a lot of different techniques you can use. This one, for example, it's going to have some of the stickers on it. It's also going to have some of the dried flowers. It has personalized notes on it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to play around with these and really make them your own. That's why I highly encourage, like, if you have certain things that you look at, you know, maybe like a loved one gave them to you, or maybe if you have kids or grandkids, or you have a partner or a best friend and they drew you something or they wrote you something, and it just really makes you smile. You know, putting it on something like this is definitely a good kind of like motivational like tracker to keep you going. You can also make them more specific too. So, for example, let's say you have maybe a certain goal fitness wise, or you have a goal work wise, and you really want to channel in on that and tap into that energy. What you can do is you can take some photos and some quotes and just maybe some, you know, you can do like goal photos and put them on a board specific for that. I've seen a lot of people do boards that are customized for fitness. I've seen people do boards that are customized for finishing school or getting that job that they want. So there's a lot of different approaches you can take when it comes to doing these sort of things. And I love them because, you know, in the kits you have one vision board. However, you can use something like you could use poster board, you could get a panel, you could play around with that too. So you're not limited to just working with the boards that are included, but they're definitely a good start, and I would recommend, you know, trying them out, seeing what you like about it. There is a coupon code for tonight's class too, now that I think about it. The coupon code is going to be, we always have the same code depending on who is teaching the class. So it's going to be Craft with Alex, and that's CraftWithAlex. And that's Craft with Alex. That's going to get you 15% off any of your purchases on the Pop Shop America website. So you can use that for tonight's kit, or you can use that for any of the other kits or subscriptions that we have on the website as well. So you're not limited to just, you know, this kit if you don't find yourself inclined to purchase this one. But that code is active for the next 24 hours. So if you do decide to purchase something within the next 24 hours, you will get 15% off of that. And I'll leave that in the chat box momentarily, so that way you guys have that on hand and you can reference that if you need to. So another thing you can do too is I took one of these cutouts and I kind of made it like a die cut. So I cut around the edges of it and just rounded it so that way it fits perfectly on the edge of the vision board. And I'm just getting a feel of how that looks, if I like that or not, which I think I do. I think I'm going to position that one this way and leave these guys like this. So the route that I'm going to take with this one is I'm going to have two color schemes merge into one. So I'm going to go with, and I'll pick this up and show you guys. I'm going to go with one side being more kind of like a floral, like rose, pink sort of color. And then the next side is going to have more of like blue, neutral sort of sky colors. So you can take approaches like that too and just, you know, work around with that. So I like these positions right here. I'm going to go ahead and glue on the flowers on the edge because I'm going to build up from there. Now, usually when I'm doing a project like this, I like to have a starting point where I kind of build things up from around that. That's how I work. I find that to be a little easier. You may find it easier to get everything cut out and get everything positioned before you start. Whatever approach you find easier and that you work with a little, you know, that you work with fluidly, take that approach. You don't have to do the same approach that I'm doing and working in sections. You can take, you know, everything, cut it out, and then glue it all at once if that's what you find to be easier. So whatever you feel more comfort at. I'm going to take some of the tape that's in the box here. There's this shade, not me struggling opening this. Okay. There's this shade in here that's like a dark kind of purple, and it has like some really pretty lines through it. I don't know if you can really see that on camera, but I'm going to use that because I feel like it goes best with these color wise. And I'm going to take a little bit of this Scotch tape and just on the back of the photo, just to kind of give it a little more, you know, keep it down a little more. I'm going to take that and just anchor it in place. So it's like that. And then I'm going to take some of this colorful tape and add that to the edges of it to give it a little bit more of a decorative sort of feel. And you can put this in any kind of arrangement that you like. I'm gonna add it to the corners because I like the way it looks. So you can kind of see what I'm working with right there. And again, you don't have to use additional tape or glue. You can use what's provided to you in the kit, but I have some on hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it just for convenience sake. Let me go ahead and add, pardon guys, let me go ahead and add that discount code in the chat box for you, and that should be visible for everyone. So Craft with Alex is gonna get you 15% off anything on the websites. And I'm trying not to make any typos for you guys. The website, okay. Yes, okay, perfect, yeah. So Craft with Alex gets you 15% off anything on the website. That's gonna be valid for the next 24 hours. So until 7 p.m. tomorrow, that code will be active and valid for you guys. And are we back in frame? Yeah, we're back in frame. Okay, perfect. All right. So back to what we're working with. Okay. So I started with the corner here. And again, you can start wherever you like on this. You do not have to start in any particular order. Like I mentioned earlier too, you can even cut everything out, pre-position it, and work that way if that's easier for you. I kind of like to work in segments. That's just personally how I get things done. So that's the approach I'm gonna take with this right here today. So I have this corner kind of put in, and I like how that looks. I'm gonna look for some words now because there are some words included that you can use for your vision board. You can also write some words too. You have a marker here that you can play around with. So if you're good at calligraphy or script work, or you just want to write something nice for yourself, you can definitely do that as well too. I love to write nice things for myself. I think one of the most important things about this particular craft right here is that it really encourages you to think about yourself and put some effort and thought into yourself, and really just take a look at what you find motivating, what you find that drives you. And I feel like a lot of people can tend to forget that when it comes to themselves. Like we can be focused on maybe being good people for everyone else, but sometimes forget ourselves in the mix. So I definitely would suggest, think about things that just really, really make you feel good about yourself and kind of channel that into this board. And that would be my suggestion. There's nothing wrong with self-love. There's nothing wrong with, doing things for the betterment of yourself. And I think that the more things you do that make you happy, the better of a person you can be for everyone else. But that's my personal philosophy when it comes to it. So I'm going to take just a few other little cutouts and just play around with those, add them around, get an idea. I'll probably customize it too with some drawings and see how that looks. So let's see. We also have stickers. We have these little colored dots, which you can add objects onto as well. Let me go down to the chat. Guys, if you have questions too, you can leave that in the chat box. I do have the ability to see, so that way you guys can, write questions if you have those too. Let's see what else we have working here. We have these real flowers too, so I'm gonna definitely add some of these to the board. I think that's gonna be really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna take this die cut right here. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna take these real flowers right here, and I'm gonna add them probably up here in the corner. Yeah, I like how that looks. I'm gonna add them to the corner because I want to bring a little bit of three-dimensional look to my board. So something like this, because I'm gonna tape them down, and I'm gonna take some of the string and kind of loop it around and have it dangling on the bottom. I think that would look really pretty. So I'm gonna start by adding these flowers. And I'm going to take, let's see, I don't know how strong the other tape is. I think it will be okay. Maybe if I unwind them. Well, let's see. I'm going to start with the Scotch tape just to give it a little more reinforcement. So I'm gonna take that, add it down to the corner, and I'm gonna add some decorative tape over that as well too. I have this, I'm gonna use this one right here. It's like a pink one with like chevron patterns on it. And I'm gonna add that over the Scotch tape just to give it a little bit more decoration so it doesn't look so plain with the regular Scotch. Okay. Yeah, that held it just fine. So I added the tape in the corner like this. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take some of this string that we have here and I'm going to start to position it around the edge of it as well and kind of get an idea of where I want it to be because I want it to flow and just travel through the board. That's the overall aesthetic that I'm going for this. So I can find the edge of this, we'll get started on that. So I didn't really think this through when it came to opening it. Definitely do better than me when you open your string because then you'll be unwinding an essential ball of yarn pretty much. So taking this, here we go. All right. And I'm going to, let's see, we're going to do a little layout on this. Probably kind of drape it. That's kind of hard to pick up on camera. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. So I'll probably drape it around the edge. Add like a few loops like this. And kind of tie that in a bit. There we go. So I'm gonna drape it kind of like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna take it, this is the back that I'm working with. I'm gonna take it along the back and do a similar method. Of course, you know, it's falling right now because I haven't cut the cord itself. I'm just giving you a guys idea of how I'm going to play around with it. And then wrap it around like that. So that's the approach I'm going to take with the wire, with the string right here. So let me cut off my piece now that I have an idea of how much material that I need to work with. And then I'll show you guys how I play around with that and position it on the board. Let's see what you guys are writing here. Yes, yes, absolutely. You should definitely try it. If you've never made a vision board before, it's a very rewarding experience, especially because, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people, they don't really do a lot of things for themselves. And, you know, it can kind of be maybe a little scary or overwhelming to start. So something like this is a great tool to take advantage of and give yourself that extra motivation or that extra push that you may need to start doing things for yourself. You know, like I mentioned earlier, maybe you've always wanted to take a vacation to a certain destination, or maybe you've always wanted to start joining the gym, or maybe you wanted to go for your dream job and you feel yourself, you know, oh, maybe I feel a little guilty, I don't want to, you know, change anything up, or I'm scared to start something new. So something like this is a great kind of like little push. Maybe give yourself some motivation to get started on that because some of us need that, and that's perfectly okay, you know, especially if you're like a parent, or, you know, not even if you're a parent. Some of us just, you know, we have the tendency to put ourselves last. So that's why I love the whole notion behind vision boards. They're meant to be completely inspiring to you personally. So I love that. And I think that anything that you find inspiration in is something, you know, that's worth pursuing. So I'm going to take, like I mentioned again, so I'm going to start off with one of these corners right here, and I'm going to add some of the tape, probably underneath right here, actually, to kind of hide it a bit. And I'm going to use the same, here we go, same tape we have. Now you can also use hot glue. If you have a hot glue gun laying around, you can do that too, if you find that easier also. You don't have to use, you know, the tape or the tape that's provided. But I haven't plugged my hot glue gun in, and I don't feel like doing it, so I'm going to use what's provided here in the kit. Plus, I want to show you guys how to utilize what's in the kit too. So I'm taking the string, and I'm kind of just draping it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut a portion of it in the back because I want to tie it off. I want to tie off the back of it to make sure everything stays in place. I'm also going to tape the back of it as well too, because I do not want the strings to fall off, because if they will, you know, it's the nature of it. So I'm going to tie the back of it just to kind of keep everything in place. And I'll turn this around in just a moment and show you guys what I did exactly. So that way you have an idea, you know, if you're going to do something similar or if you're just curious on how I did it. So I'm just tying the back of it, making a small knot, checking the front. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the front, position things, how I want them to be positioned, and then I'm gonna turn it around and then just like tape everything in place. And I'm gonna pull them a little more taut in the back so that way they look a little tighter in the front. And you don't have to do it this way as well. If you want to just string yours around, by all means, you can do that as well too. I just have some time here on camera with you guys to be a little creative with it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm taking that, pulling it and tying or taping the back of it, I'm sorry. And I'm going to position these a bit more. Just play around with them till you get them to where you like visually. Okay, that works for me right now. So I have this so far, you can see, and these strings still dangle, so you can just kind of like reposition them, move them around however you like. And I just added some tape to the back of it. It doesn't look too pretty in the back, but we're not looking at the back. We're only looking at the front, okay? So I have that part added. And what I want to do now is start working on the other side of it. I dropped some flowers, so I'm going to grab those right now. All right. And I'm back. Okay. So I have this die cut right here of these flowers, which I think are really pretty, and they really go with the kind of vibe that I'm going for with this board. So I'm going to take those along with this other custom photo cutout that I made earlier. And I did this by taking two of the pictures that I really liked and adding them, kind of combining them together. So go down on my chat. So that's what you can do. You can take different pictures, combine them, make something, you know, unique to your kit specifically. Let me give you guys another example of what you can do with that. So, and this is pretty much like a lot of collage work. So if you're into collaging and things of that sort, this is going to be right up your alley, because that's essentially what we have, what we're doing for a lot of this right here. So I'm going to take, let's see what looks pretty on this. And this one I'm not going to add to my board. I just want to give you guys an example of how you can customize these photos that are included. I'm going to take these, I don't know what these are, daisies, this flower. I'm going to take these flowers and I'm going to combine them with this rainbow that we have on this other panel. And I just take the picture that I want. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut the borders off of it because they do have a colored border around it. And then I'm going to cut one of the photos in half. Now what you can do to make sure that you have a perfect measurement when you cut these, I'm just like kind of freehanding the edges of it. You can definitely fold those corners down and cut along the line if you find that easier. So what I'm going to do, now that I'm going to cut one of these pictures in half, I'm actually going to take it and I'm going to fold it into itself, just like that. And that's going to give me kind of like a symmetrical crease to cut from when I am ready to cut it. You can print photos out too. You don't have to use what's included in the kit, or you can use a combination of what's included in the kit and something you print out too. So now that I have that line, I'm cutting that, and I'm going to take one of these. And here's the cool part about doing stuff like this is when you have them cut out, you can place them, kind of like represent them before you actually do it, and see if you like those colors together. Now that I have this cut out, I don't particularly like how this color looks with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a different photo and I'm going to try the same thing. So this is a good technique to use if you're playing around with how you want your vision board to be. Maybe you're not too sure, or you're just like designing it. Honestly, this is a good design technique. I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm sure a lot of us have, or have done it ourselves too. Whenever we're getting ready to paint a new room in a house or a studio or something, we take a bunch of color swatches and we just like paint them on the wall to get a better visual of what's going on. This is the same technique. So just applied to, a vision board essentially. Sometimes it's better, especially if you're a creative person, to really just look at things and get a visual for it before making taking the step to do it. So that's what I recommend for that. Even when I'm drawing or painting a picture, I have a piece of paper or canvas off to the side that I use for swatching. So I definitely recommend, when you are doing stuff like this, just taking a look at how things look laid out first off. So here we go. I prefer these colors much more with each other. And you can take something like that. And what I did is I glued it the first time and it worked really well. So you can just take some glue or some tape too, honestly. You can take some tape and add those together. And you can cut this in the shape of a circle. You can cut it into a rectangle. You can cut it into a die cut shape. You don't have to keep it an exact square like it is. Let's see how we just combined a picture, made a custom one now, like this one right here. So you don't have to keep them exactly how they are. You could even, for example, let's say you don't like all this negative space that's up here with the skies. You can take your scissors and just cut that off. And now you have a smaller little square of something completely different that didn't come as is in the kit. So you can definitely completely customize these depending on what approach you want to take. Okay, so I'm going to take on the other side. I'm going to add this into the top left corner. So something like this. I do want this to stick out above the edge a little bit. I kind of like that look. So I'm going to kind of turn it, like rotate it a bit because I want it to stick out some. And then I'm going to take, I do like the edges of this one visible. So I'm going to take some of the Scotch tape and just put that on the back of it to keep that one in place. And then position it where I want it. Okay, and there we go. We have that one sticking out. And let's see. I want to add these flowers somewhere, or possibly the more three-dimensional ones. I haven't decided that yet. So I'm going to put these to the side for a minute and take a look at what I have going on here. So we do have our envelopes too. And you can also customize these in the sense of, if you don't want them to be opened, you can put a picture in them. You can put a sticker in front of them. Another cool thing that I like to do is I like to have, for example, let's say I have a certain goal for myself and it's a personal goal that you have, and you don't really want to talk about it. You don't want to share it, but it's just something that you have for yourself. You can take that goal. You can write it on a note, a sticky note. You can make a note for yourself. You can put it into an envelope like this and seal it, and then don't open it until you reach that goal. So that's a good representation of something you can kind of just, have for yourself. Every time you pass by your board, you're going to look at it. You're going to remember the note that you wrote, and you're going to think about the place you were at when you were, inspiring yourself and trying to get there, and you have that there for you. So I'm going to write a goal for myself, and I'm going to seal it up and put it on the envelope. So that way, when I reach that goal, I can take a look at it and read it. Another cool thing you can do too is you can date it. So that way you have that to look back at. This pin that comes in the kit is a metallic pin. We're going to do a little swatch on the back of this to see. And it's just like a gold metallic marker. It doesn't, I'm smelling it on camera. I'm smelling it for you guys, I promise. It doesn't have like a strong odor like a paint marker does or like a Sharpie does, so that's pretty mild if you're sensitive to that, so that's cool. It's a metallic craftwork pen. So I'm gonna write a note for myself on this, and I'm going to seal it up, and I'm gonna put that in the center of my vision board. These do need to dry, so just be mindful of that. If you're writing yourself a note, you don't want to smear it. Oh yes, I mean you can any goal that you have, whether it's business or professional, or maybe you have, like I said, fitness goals or work goals. I'll tell you my goals, guys. Okay, so this is my first year, a little over a year now. We're like maybe a year and some change. So this is like a year and some change of me doing art full time, right? Okay. Huge thing for me, right? I've always been an artist. I've always been a creative, always uh, drawn, painted, things like that. And I've done it semi professionally for like the past 8 to 10 years. And that was always just such a pleasure for me. I got such a joy out of it. And last year in February was whenever I made the switch to doing it full time completely. So that was a huge goal of mine that I had. And I had that goal for a very long time. So when I was able to make that goal happen, that was, that was like groundbreaking for me. Of course, when you do have goals for yourselves and you start something like that, you want to make sure that you keep yourself motivated and you keep raising the bar or setting goals for yourself, and doing things that are in favor of what you want out of life. So that's a lesson that I learned along the way when in my transition to become a full-time artist. I had to learn to really practice self-discipline. I had to learn how to prioritize my customers, my work, my craft, everything along those lines. The things that are boring, that people don't want to talk about when it comes to owning your own business, such as like you have to be in bed early. You have to have all your all the paperwork on the back end done. You have to send out a lot of emails. You have to do a lot of stuff that's just not fun. And, those things require discipline, they require dedication. So that was my personal goal. And I wrote a little goal again to kind of continue that momentum and keep that going. So, yes, that is my work in the background. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like an inspirational note that you guys can take and weave it into your own life. All of us may not have our own businesses that we want to start. Some of us may want to, get their dream job and get a promotion in it. Some of us may want to just, maybe you want to redo your house. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to get a new car. Maybe you want to move out. Maybe you want to start going to the gym. Whatever it is that you want to do, my advice to that would be to not compare that to what other people are doing, because everyone's doing something different. And just because someone's doing something else doesn't mean you have to be doing it that way, or you have to be doing it at that pace. Everyone does what they do at their own pace. We all have our own lives that we have to handle, and we have our own tracks that we're on. So when they say comparison is a thief of joy, there is definitely a lot of truth to that statement. And that's just something that I learned along the way. You have to take your own journey in stride. You have to just really focus on yourself and really just enjoy yourself along the way. And things like this are good little reminders to keep yourself going and just find enjoyment in it. Just because you're not exactly where you want to be doesn't mean that you can't enjoy where you're at. So that's kind of my little tidbit about things. And that's honestly how I find enjoyment out of life itself, too. You got to appreciate the journey. You have to, because what's the fun of it if you don't appreciate the journey along the way? So I took this string right here and I just wrapped it around. I'm actually going to feed it underneath this one right here to keep it in place. I just wrapped it around a few times and I tied it in the, or I taped it in the back, I'm sorry. So I taped it in the back, and let me see if I can scroll through this chat box. Thank you so much for leaving comments, guys. You can leave too if you guys are going to make your own, maybe what kind of theme you're going to have for yours. So that would be cool to hear too. Because, like I mentioned, you can really personalize it, make it something specific. Like, let's say you're starting a new job or you're starting a new fitness journey or you want to move somewhere, you can personalize that as well too. So I just tied this string underneath the other ones, and I'm going to tape it off in the back to keep everything secured and just cut that off. You can look at Pinterest too. I know if you're into the crafting community, Pinterest is pretty big. It's big for a reason. There's a lot of cool ideas on there. So definitely utilize that. Take a look at that. See what they have going on. So I just added that string right there. And let's see what else we're going to add to this. So we can tuck these flowers in right here behind the string. There we go. Like that. And we're going to play around with some of these stickers now. So there are stickers that are included in the kit. I believe everyone gets something different. So you might get the same stuff I get. You might get something a little different. That's usually how Brittany does it whenever she makes her kits. Things that are a little more custom like this. They're going to have some slight different sort of, additions to them. Okay. So, for example, this one is like a live flower. It's like an actual flower inside the sticker, which those are pretty cool. I used to make those with my mom when I was a kid. So I'm gonna take the mushroom one and add that to the nature side of it. And oh, is this a sticker? I don't think this is a sticker. Okay. So another cool thing you can do too, you can take some of the decals that you have and you can add them to the printouts that you were given. So that's another technique you can use too. You can draw on top of these too. There's so many different things you can do, honestly. Like, just the possibilities are completely endless with what you can do. This one's a sticker. I actually don't know what this is, but it's pink and it's pretty. So I'm going to put it on there. That's good enough for me. So I'm going to add this one to the edge right here. And another cool thing that you can do too is you can, again, oh, these are crystals. Okay. Yeah, these are crystals. Love that. Okay. So I'm going to add these over here. You see, I just put one of the stickers on top of one of the paper decals that I have. Yeah, self-discipline is a fantastic idea for one of the vision boards. This says, yeah, it used to be when I was younger, but I haven't now. Yeah, that's the great thing about these two is a lot of times people or ourselves, we find ourselves maybe a little more dedicated or inspired in our younger years. And then life gets in the way, work happens, kids happen, family happens, everything happens, right? Everything happens for a reason. And we might get a little sidetracked with our own personal goals and just sort of the direction we may have wanted to take in our own lives. So this is a great tool if you want to get back on self-discipline and like I mentioned earlier, like I've been mentioning the whole stream, just, working on yourself and getting that sort of drive, that motivation, and getting yourself into gear. So it's a perfect technique you can do for that. Also, too, you don't have to do this as a solo project. Let's say you have like a partner or a best friend or, someone that you're close to that you want to explore goals with. You can bring them along too, sit them down with you. You guys can make one together. So that's another thing that you could do as well too. and it really helps out, definitely. Let's see. So, real quick, while I have a lot of you guys in the chat and who are watching, if you're just joining us, welcome. If this is your first Thursday here, welcome. If this is, you're returning, thank you for returning. Love having you guys here. So we do these lives every Thursday. Every Thursday we do them. They're absolutely free. We have a lot of information packed into them. So a lot of cool things you can do. These are the craft and style lives. I do the unboxing for the kits. So I have the vision board kit here today. I did an unboxing. I went over everything that was in the kit, and I went through and I made a customized vision board that out of the materials that are in the box as well too. So that's what this particular live was about. But they are different every single week. So last week I made a pajaki chandelier. The week before that I made crepe paper flowers. This upcoming Thursday, every last Thursday of the month, we do a relax and color live stream. So the relax and colors, those are very inclusive. We have adult monthly coloring books on the website, and they're themed depending on the month. And what we do is every Thursday we get our coloring books. We go over different coloring techniques. I'm going to be showing you guys how to shade with color pencils this upcoming Thursday. And if you have something that you're working on at home, we encourage you to bring it. We can all do art together. We talk about art, we talk about craft, we talk about life, we talk about everything. We have techniques, tips, tricks, and whatever you're working on. It doesn't even have to be a drawing. It could be a painting, maybe you're scrapbooking, maybe you're crocheting, whatever it is. We have the lives every Thursday. And end of the month, last Thursday, we have the relax and colors. So those are what we invite people to bring their art in and just make art with us on live, for an hour. Just kind of take an hour out of your day, relax, unwind, and they're really fun. I love doing them. Sometimes Brittany does them too. So you'll either see me or you'll see Brittany. My name is Alexis again, for those who missed my name in the beginning. But you'll see one of us doing those, and they're really fun. So we have those on the website. We have them if you're watching from the Facebook group page, the Craft With Us page, we post them on there. We post them on YouTube, and we post them on Twitch as well too. So it really just depends on where you're watching them from, but we have them available, and you can watch the playback on YouTube too. So yes, the kit is available on the website. Let me show you guys the box so that way you can see what it looks like. So this is the kit. It's the vision board kit, and that is available on the website. I do have a coupon code that I listed in the chat box. So if you guys scroll up in the chat box, you can see it. It's Craft with Alex. CraftWithAlex. That's going to get you 15% off anything for the next 24 hours. So anything on the website, whether it's this particular kit or whether it's one of the coloring books or one of the other kits, we have candle making, soap making, crocheting, macrame. We have essential oil blends. So a ton of different options to choose from. That's going to get you 15% off any of those that you want to play with. So definitely take advantage of it. And if you miss out this week, next week again, next Thursday at 7 p.m., we have the code going live again too. So for the next 24 hours. So 7 p.m. it's good till then, next or tomorrow. But that's what we have going on. Two, also, if you want to take a look at what lives are coming up, like I mentioned again, you could take a look at the Craft and Style Facebook page for Pop Shop America, or you can go over to the YouTube channel, Pop Shop America. Everything is Pop Shop America. You can go over to the YouTube channel, and we actually have the lives pre-listed, so that way you can take a look at the schedule, see what works best for you, see what you can tune into or not, or you can also watch the playback too. We're also going to start posting more Instagram reels and going live on, there's another website Brittany mentioned to me. Let me see. We're going to be going live on that one too. That's going to be more of during the day sort of thing. So that way for those of us who maybe can't watch the ones at night, we could watch the ones during the day. So once we get the ball rolling on those, we'll have all of that posted for you guys to take a look at. Let's see. I do have on hand right now, though, I have a list of what we have coming up for lives, just that I can go ahead and tell you guys. So today is the 20th. Again, next week we have the Relax and Color. We have all of May planned out as well too. We're going to be getting into a lot of fun stuff on that. So we're going to be doing a dip dye DIY placemats. We're going to be doing a moon macrame class. That's going to be really cool. Brittany's going to be teaching that one. We have citrus stamped tea towels. That's going to be essentially like stamping with fruits and making patterns with that. So that's really creative and cool. We have more candle making coming up. We have a lava lamp jar coming up. We have astrology embroidery for those of us who are into astrology. We have a jewelry making class coming up. We have hand knit pillows. We have air plant terrariums, paint pouring. So we have a lot of really cool, really creative classes coming up. They're all free. All of them, guys, all of them, seriously. So take advantage of them. Come hop on live with us. Take a look at them, see what we're doing. Yes, Instagram too. Instagram also, we have everything posted on the Instagram page. So you can take a look at that also. Thank you so much, guys, for keeping that chat box updated. That's really kind of you. Okay, so we're approaching towards the end of the hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the last finishing touches on my vision board. This is what I have so far. So far I have a lot of pinks. I have a lot of flowers, landscapes. I have things that really just kind of tie into nature and help inspire me personally. So I'm going to finish it off and add maybe some inspirational words that kind of keep me motivated and just keep me grounded to myself. And you can make this as simple or as in-depth if you want. Like I mentioned earlier, you can even write yourself a letter, seal it away in the envelope, and then open it up once you have the goal that you have in plan, once you complete it. So you can make this as fun, as in-depth, however you want to make it, as simple. So I'm going to put some quotes on here for myself. Okay, so I put believe in yourself, appreciate life, things like that, just to keep myself humble, keep myself grounded, and just kind of remind myself, on a daily basis that there are a lot of things, despite the bad days, the good days, whatever it is, there are a lot of things to be grateful about. There are a lot of things to be happy about. So it's a message that I personally like to remind myself of and reiterate, and just kind of keep in my head at all times, just despite, whatever trials that life may throw my way or whatever experiences that I may have. That's a message that I always like to remind myself of. You can put whatever you want on it. You don't have to put anything at all if you feel so inclined to also. So that is what I wrote on mine. And I'm just adding one last photo. I'm going to add the one that I combined because I actually like how that one turned out. So I'm adding one last photo to mine just to kind of make it feel a little more full. Okay. And this is what mine looks like. So I added the string. I added some decals behind the string. You can take notes and tuck them. If you wrap the strings around it, you can take notes and tuck them into it. I added some of the cutouts on the top to give it a little bit more, dimension and kind of break it out a bit. I added some of the little flowers on the top too. I cut and pasted some of these pictures together to customize it a little more. I wrote myself an inspirational note and sealed it inside the envelope. I wrote some messages on here that I like to remind myself of. I added the stickers to it. So I used the majority of what was in the kit. So it gives you a lot of materials to work with. Again, here are some of the other examples that I had too. So there are a lot of possibilities you can do with these. You have everything you need in the kit, including the board that you're working on today. So you can use the code Craft with Alex for 15% off any of the kits on the website. You can watch the playback on our YouTube page if you missed tonight's live. And you can also take a look at the blog post as well, popshopamerica.com. The blog is going to have pretty much everything, all of the socials, all of the group pages, all of the past lives. You can take a look at that, and it has everything just like in one collective on there. So let me include that in the chat box for you guys real quick before I head out for tonight. And that is just popshopamerica.com. So that's going to have everything that I mentioned above. So past classes, future classes, groups, everything like that. But other than that, thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for leaving all these beautiful comments in the box. I really appreciate the feedback. I hope you guys found some inspiration from tonight's live, and hopefully you'll make your own vision boards and achieve those goals that you have. So with that being said, everyone have a great Thursday night. Have a great remainder of your week, and I hope you'll have a great weekend. Bye.